Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and I bring to you alternative facts and fake news from Germany. I want to tell you what happened last night in Germany. So last night in Hamburg, 5 Africans were luring a nurse with cries of help into a park. Then they beat her unconscious and they raped her. 2 refugees rape a woman in her own apartment, and a third refugee is watching. A man from Syria attacks a young woman. He is laying himself on top of her and tries to rape her. The father of the girl can rescue her at the last minute. A shelter for asylum seekers was burned to the ground. Dozens of injured people. 5 of the inhabitants have been taken into custody as suspects. In Berlin, 3 terrorists of the Islamic State have been taken into custody. 2 Syrian refugees tie up another Syrian and stab him to death. 2 adolescent refugees and their father are trying to kill a married couple with metal bars. Now, of course, as I told you, all this is just fake news and right-wing propaganda. Why? Because these things didn't happen last night. No, see? So there is no reason to worry. This is not real. It didn't happen last night. It happened, all of that, since the beginning of this year, 2017. So within a time period of less than 2 months. And these were just some of the cases that I read to you. These cases are not reported on in the media. These cases were compiled and collected by hobbyists, basically, by activists who do that in their free time after work. And they basically take these cases, these reports from the local news, because none of these cases basically, unless it is a truck plowing through a Christmas market in Berlin, makes it into the national news. So they take it from the local news from page 15, or they actually directly make inquiries at the local police departments, because not even the local news is publishing these cases anymore. And then they publish these cases on a map of Germany in Google Maps format, and you see these little pins on the map of Germany, and every color-coded, pictogram-coded pin here is one crime basically. And the corresponding map of last year, of 2016, counts round about 10,000 cases: rape, sexual harassment, theft, robbery, murder, aggravated assault, and so on and so on. Actually, sexual harassment in swimming pools is its own category, as this happens a lot during the summer in Germany. So let me be perfectly clear here. This is a crime wave that we see in Germany here. This crime has not been in Germany in this quantity nor in this quality. We didn't have gang rapes or ISIS terrorist attacks before these quote-unquote refugees came to Germany. Most of these people who say they are refugees are actually not refugees, which is not what I say, which is also what the authorities in Germany say, because the success rate of these pleas for asylum or these applications for asylum are not 100%, let me tell you. And back then in the 80s, I still remember most of these cases, I mean not a stolen purse maybe, but a home invasion or a violent crime where people got injured or even killed, was newsworthy back then. Back then, even in the 90s, this stuff made the headlines. Some of that stuff would even have been in the evening news on national television. But nowadays, there is a 100% ban on these stories, unless it somehow makes it into the public anyway, like if there are a lot of witnesses, or it's really a big violent crime like this truck that everyone heard about in Berlin that plowed through this Christmas market. This is stuff you cannot cover up. But everything that they can cover up, or at least sweep under the rug, they will do that. So it is good that we have these activists who compile this Einzelfall map. And by the way, Einzelfall is a German word and it means isolated incident. So that is of course sarcastic, because our politicians and our media always calls these things an isolated incident. But if you look at the map from 2016 and actually the one from 2017 already also, it is a very dense grid of pins in that map. So calling every one of those an isolated incident is just ridiculous. So I really cannot understand all these female politicians from Sweden who now laugh about Donald Trump and say, "Oh, what happened last night? I don't know, nothing really happened. What is he talking about?" Yeah, you know exactly what he was talking about. And he meant to say, of course, that last night he saw a report that reported on these issues. Yeah? These issues didn't all happen last night, but that doesn't make any difference. They happened recently. That is the point. So I think it speaks volumes that these female politicians are mocking someone who calls out the fact that their own people, their own sons and daughters, and they are murdered, raped, and brutalized in their own country. And these female politicians have nothing better to do than mock the fact that Donald Trump misspoke a little bit here. And I'm sure if Sweden had activists like we have in Germany and they would compile such a map, I think these pins would be just as dense in Sweden as they are in Germany right now. At least in areas where the population density is similar. So I think instead of self-righteous mockery of the US president, you should protect your people. This is why they elected you. This is part of your job. It is actually the most important part of your job as a leader, to protect the people. But since this is just fake news and alternative facts, you don't have to worry. You can sleep safe and sound, because you know that only what the media reports on actually happened. What the police department said happened is really not relevant, because if it were relevant, the news would have reported about it, right? There is no need to lock your doors. There is no need to own a gun. You will be safe, because Swedish female politicians tell us that everything is alright in their country. It is safe, it is peaceful and safe as it ever was. Sweet dreams! Servus, Kameraden!